Right then, guys, welcome back into the Spooky Shed, your go-to place for conversations around all things weird, scary, and of course spooky. Tonight with me, I have got Brenda and Tim from Paranormal Girls and Tim. So, Brenda, Tim, welcome into the shed. How are we?
We are good.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good, good, good. Happy days, happy days. Right, so I always get my guests. I always start off by getting my guests to leave something in the shed with me. So it's purely hypothetical, of course. Can be literally anything you want, something you love, something you hate, a person, a place, a feeling, a thing. Literally whatever the hell you want. The weirder, the better. What have you got for me? Can be literally anything you want.
Go ahead, Tim.
I got to start. Oh, great.
Uh-huh.
So something weird. So you talking like a personal experience? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Or
it can be literally anything. Can be a physical object. Could literally be the hat on your head. Just something, like I say, hypothetical to leave in the shed. Something you love, something you hate. So the idea behind it is like your shed is where you either keep all your junk or all your prized possessions. So I either want something that you want rid of, or I want something that you want to keep forever, and I'll keep it. I'll keep it in here in the shed for you, or you can get rid of it, and I'll be stuck with it.
okay. All right. So in my personal experiences in the past, I have ran across some evil things that go on. I'm talking about shadows. I'm talking about stuff appearing in front of me. Uh, I want to say this. A black mist actually appearing out of the floor, standing in front of me, right there, 10 feet away. So that's something that's pretty cool happened to me in my life. There's been some other places that at this same place, there's been a lot of people being physically attacked, physically and mentally attacked to the point of we had to help them through prayer, through holy water, and everything else to get them out of the situation. So it was a pretty bad situation. But I've had, things manifest in front of me. I've been growled at out of thin air. I've heard footsteps run beside me. I've seen things that are incredible in the lifetime of being a paranormal investigator. I wish I had a lot more evidence with that, but I do have some video that goes with that. I can show sometime, or if somebody wants to see it, I can actually bring that on too. But and the most part of it is, and another thing of it is, being part of Paranormal Girls, and Tim, has been a great honor. Past couple of years, been working with the four ladies that are very good at what they do. They're getting better and better. So I really cherish the thought of continuing with that and doing more podcasts like this. But spooky wise, I've seen things manifest in front of me that shouldn't be there. Seen things stand in yards that shouldn't be there. And when I look back, they're gone. They literally just vaporize like a stump, and it's not. It's actually a dark energy standing there in the shadow in a yard staring at me and in a house. So, spooky wise, things that have really changed and affected my life, those are a couple of things that really done that in the paranormal world.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Very, very interesting and very weird, and like I say, I'm sure we'll get more into that a bit later on. So, quick question to start off for you both. Then, so I want to know. I always start with the question of where does it all start for you? Like your interests into the paranormal and all the weird stuff. Where does that all start for you?
For me, I got into watching, like, ghost hunters and all of that stuff, and I had experiences growing up as well. So, once I actually started watching the shows, started really paying attention to what they do and, like, how they investigate it, I was like, "I can do that." Like, I could go in, not be scared, um or if you do get scared, you kinda push the boundaries a little bit to you know, I became more fascinated by it than scared of it.
Mm,
So, um, because it blows my mind how we can exist on the same planes as paranormal things, whether it's cryptids or whatever, um, and then so we basically coexist in the same world. But every once in a while, we cross paths with each other, um, so that's, like, a big driving force for me.
Nice, nice. I like it. I like it. What about you, Tim? So where does your interest come from? Where does it all start for you?
So I've always been interested in the paranormal, trying to figure out if there's something else out there besides what, like Brenda said, our 3D world that we live in and the plane that we exist on. So my curiosity got to be the same of watching all the ghost shows on TV and so forth. But I was a skeptic. I wanted to know for sure if there was something out there or something existed. I bought a camera and I bought a digital recorder and I took off on my own thinking I knew how to ghost hunt everything. So I went to a prison, and in this prison, I got chased up a set of stairs out of a basement. So I quickly started to learn that there was things out there. Then I get invited with a group to go to a residential and help some people who were having problem in their home. I saw things in that house that turned me from wanting to know if something was out there to actually seeing things did happen. So mine was pure curiosity. Can it be and can it exist? Because I knew there had to be something more than outside this world. But we always think it is. But watching that on TV and experience it in real life, that's a whole different story. So when you do that and you actually find it, you know for sure that it exists and it's real. So yeah, the curiosity of the ghost shows and always wanting to know something about paranormal, but I didn't experience stuff when I was a kid, didn't grow up that way. I just when I got older, my curiosity got the best of me. So I took off and been doing it ever since.
Nice. I like that, and I genuinely think that's the first time I've had somebody say, "Oh, it started when I was a kid," because 9 times out of 10, that is always the answer. But I still like to ask the question anyway. Yeah, but I was very similar, like I say, with the ghost shows. Our big one we had over here is Most Haunted. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. S- Some some of it was brilliant, some of it was utter shit. But yeah, it was still good, and like I say, I completely agree with you there, Tin. Like when you're watching it and then going out and doing that same thing yourself, very, very different. Very, very different.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I want to quickly go back to something you said there when you went to you went to the residential thing. So you said there that obviously things happened and you've seen things. Can you give us a couple of examples of things that happened there? Because that's
I sure
really
can.
intriguing.
It'd been 14 years ago, and I remember it like I did it yesterday. They went to these people's house. It was just a two-story house. Just the upper level and the basement was all that was there. The boy we was
Hmm.
helping, or the young man we was helping, actually lived in the basement. But upstairs, they had a room that they just stored. It was a spare bedroom. They just stored uh, furniture in. Nobody in the house would go into that room. Nobody would enter that room for any reason because they didn't like being in there. The whole family would not go into this room. So we go in there trying to figure out what might be the issue. When I went in the door in the corner of the room, I saw the room turn kind of orange, red, and I saw a face look at me and meld into the wall. And I thought, I didn't see that. There's no way I saw that. That's impossible because my first time ever investigating a residential area. And the lady walked up behind me. I was ghost hunting with. She was a medium. She goes, "You did see that." I didn't even say what I saw. I just said I didn't see that. She goes, "Yes, you did." So she acknowledged that I saw this face melt back into the wall there. And later on in the night, we heard footsteps. We heard growling. We heard all kinds of things happen in this house. We heard furniture being moved around downstairs when we were upstairs. So it was a disarray of things that actually got me to believe. But the biggest thing was a face that appeared out of nowhere in this room. And we never did go back into that room the rest of that time to investigate if something else was in there with that experience. But this young boy that we were talking to was cutting his arms, trying to commit suicide. He had all kinds of things happening with him in
Shit.
his home. And
Mm.
through the process of what I learned to do through a demonologist in a group, we actually were able to cleanse their home and get rid of it. Later on, we had to take the young man down and do some more work with him to get rid of what was attached to him. So I learned how to
Mm.
do residential cleansings from that point on, and I can still do them today. But the biggest thing is all these things happening in the house. I never ghost hunted, never paranormal investigated a residential area, and all these things. We caught EVPs. I actually have a video of something flying across the room. It's a light and it looks like an upside down cross that flies across the room, falls into an obelisk, and kills the batteries in the obelisk. I did catch that video of that. So I became a believer pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Jesus Christ, for all of that to happen on your, like I say, on one of your first investigations, that is
Yeah,
crazy stuff. And I also imagine then, like you say, when you say seeing that, like seeing that face like melt into the wall, and then you've actually got somebody else basically confirm that it happened. That must have been that must have almost like helped you a little bit to realize, like, because I
yeah,
think even now, like I say, I've done a few investigations now, and like I've never seen anything too crazy yet. Hopefully, I will. But I think if I ever saw something like that, I think I'd still question myself a little bit. I'd still thinking, right, did
I
I
did.
actually say that right? Am I
Yeah,
going crazy?
yeah, I still did. I still question myself because did I actually see that? It took a while for it to sink in. I mean, did it
Mm,
actually happen? So it does. It take you got to process. You have to process what's happening. So your brain tries to
mm,
process what you know compared to what you just saw. So you're trying to process
yeah,
it. Before the night was over, though, a lot more happened. So it was pretty. We actually got a picture of a shadow claw flying across the room. You see this big black claw flying across the room. So that my first residential investigation that happened. So from the get go, I get the start. These things happen.
yeah, definitely. That is crazy. Brenda, what about you? So your like first experiences when you started investigating, is there any that really stand out for you?
We made a trip to a location in Kansas. I asked about the resident entity that resides there. And as I
Yeah.
asked the owner about the entity, the floor shook under all four of us, like vibrated.
Mm.
And then I looked at him and I said, "What was that?" And he looked behind me, got this creepy smile on his face, and he goes, "The doll's at your feet." This Raggedy Ann doll had come off of the mantle, out like a foot, fell to my
Right.
feet, and I was, like, another foot away from it. So, like, nobody was
Right.
close to this mantle. We tried to recreate it. It did not
Right.
happen. The force of the way that floor shook, it was almost like when a pipe expands, when you get that vibration off of it, it was like
Mm.
that,
Mhm.
but under 4 of us. And,
Yeah.
eh, I was like, "Yep, nope, I gotta walk out of the room. I cannot do this right now." Like, that was way too scary for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was yeah.
I I did witness that dog coming off there. I'm the one that saw it move its foot out and land on the floor. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'd have been straight. I'd have been out the building, not just out the room. I'd have been out the building. I don't do dolls. I don't like haunted dolls.
Right? And he goes, go back in, face your fears." And I'm like, "No, no, no. I have to
you know,
figure out what just happened. Like, I have to
right,
figure that out, and then once I can comprehend that, then I'll go back in." But so until then, like, yeah, I don't know. And, like, we don't know, um, I've talked about it on other podcasts and stuff, and they're like, "Well, he was making himself known at that point."
Mm.
But
right,
did he, like, jump on the floor? Did he open a portal? Uh, there's no explanation. Like, we still don't even know what
sure,
that was. Um, we went back to that location in June, and that didn't happen again. Oh, a thermometer came off the wall that same night that the doll happened, came
right,
off the wall. But we went back again, and so we didn't have that happen, but we had a beach ball that was lodged in between the top of the cupboard and the ceiling, come down with force, shoot over, hit the wall, and then bounced over by us. Dolls fall, blocks fall. Like, location is ridiculous.
right,
And you
Mm.
don't even have to do anything. Like, just stand there. Like,
right,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I just, like I say, I'd have been straight out the door because I can't deal with haunted dolls, especially ones that start moving
yeah,
stuff. I just automatically, whenever I'm around them, I just naturally feel very uneasy. So The minute I'm around someone, things start moving. I'm just like, right, I'm done. I'm gone. Don't care if I've been there for 10 hours or 2 minutes. I will be out of the door.
Says the man who has a doll behind his head.
That was a gift. That has to be there. My friend who knows I hate haunted dolls. She has her own haunted doll. She now has lots of them because she has her own haunted museum. Because she knows I hate them, she painted me it. So like I say, and it's quite good. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to put it up. So I'm just waiting for one day when I come in and it's facing the wrong way, and then I'm just gonna set fire to the entire shed and just burn it to the ground.
It'll be there.
It's going to happen one day, probably.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you want to tell me about your group? Tell me about when you started, like, you know, whose idea it was, all the good stuff.
I started the group back in 2024. Decided I wanted to have an all-female team. So our team consists of me, Kathy, Misty, and Tanya. I was like, girls can ghost hunt, so we'll just go. And so we did. And then Tim found out that I had started a team. So then he goes, do you guys want to go to a location with me? And I asked, and they're like, yeah, we'll go. So then we go to a location with him. And he was like, you have a pretty solid team, it seems. And I'm like, cool, thanks so much. You know, like Tim's 14 years in the business. I'm just starting out. So that was a big compliment that I found solid people. And after that, he was like, well, where are you going next? And I was like, we're going here. And he goes, well, ask the team if I can go. So then I would ask, and, you know, I'd always ask the team, and they're like, yeah. They're like, because he is a veteran, we can learn a lot from him, you know, and they like to pick on him. They're like, he's super easy to pick on, so they like to pick on him. But so he's been a part of our group since 2024. I just decided to make it official this year and add him in as a full team member. And so we became Paranormal Girls, ... and Tim. So a lady asked, she goes, how does he fit into this? Because you guys are the Paranormal Girls, and obviously he's not a girl. And Tanya goes, he's ... and Tim. So then it just stuck after that.
Sure.
And that's how we're named about. Yep.
Fair enough. Right. Yeah. So since you've been, like I say, as a group, what would you say is what's been your most compelling piece of evidence that you have got as a group? And that might be a bit of a hard question, maybe, or maybe what place has been the most active? Would you say?
We actually caught 2 different shadows on walls at 2 different locations. We have the video evidence of that. The 4 of us girls went on an investigation. And Misty sets her camera on the table, and you can see all 4 of us in the view of her camera, and then her camera shifts. And then a little bit later, it shifts back.
That's weird.
It's very weird, and we didn't know it until she was reviewing evidence. We didn't know it. And so, yeah. So we have a few compelling pieces of evidence. That doll, though, we didn't get that on camera because we were just getting started. But like the Garnett House in Kansas, that's the location. It is definitely active. McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois, it's super active. We caught a shadow on the wall in the cellar. Again, Misty's camera. And we were just at Indiana State back in April, and we were in the chapel, and on Misty's camera, because she's the one that gets all this, there was actually a shadow that projects up on the wall. They're just walking by, and we were the only ones in the building. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. That is definitely cool. But for anyone listening or watching, we seem to have lost Tim. We're not sure where he's gone. If he's coming back, we'll soon find out. Hopefully he does. But we'll carry on until he does. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh, don't you just love like tech and like the internet and all the modern day technology that we have that works so well?
It's great when it works well,
Yeah, exactly. So
but when it doesn't,
speaking of technology, then, so what sort of, I mean, have you got the typical bits of equipment? You know, your EMFs, your REM pods, all that sort of stuff, or
so we have 4 REM pods. I have 3, Tim has 1. Tim has the legit REM pod. Um, I have other ones. Um, we have 2 dead bells, we have K2 meters, EVP recorders, cameras, body cam. Tanya likes to wear a body cam,
mm,
so she's got a body cam. The rest of us have cameras, spirit boxes. Um, we have a couple of grid lights. What else do we have? Black lights. Believe it or not, I use black lights, especially when we go live,
mm,
because it helps illuminate the room so you can see what's happening
yeah,
without interfering with IR.
mm,
So, I carry black lights with me. Plus, if you have a base camp or whatever you wanna call it, where your command center, wherever you're set up, if
mm,
you have black lights, because I have 2 that are on towers, it'll illuminate, like, the whole room, so you don't have to
yeah,
ever turn lights on. You can, like, see where you're going and stuff.
yeah,
Um, so I do really like that. Oh, we all have dowsing rods, that we've started using even more. We use pendulums. Um, we have a new card game that kinda works along the lines of a Ouija board.
okay,
I mean, kinda like you use cards and you ask questions, and then the cards reveal the answers, like yes, no, maybe type of
oh, like
thing.
intuition cards,
Kinda, but it's a regular deck of cards. It's not tarot and it's
right?
not oracle, but it's a regular deck. But yeah, so it's kinda like that.
Yeah,
Um, we haven't used that yet, but we do have it. What else do I think that's about it. We try to keep it on the more basic side,
yeah,
like personal, like what we're seeing, what we're feeling.
mm,
Um, cameras, of course, to record any evidence that we possibly get. And then, EVP recorders because that's where you catch a lot.
yeah,
Um,
definitely,
but we were at a location in June, late June, and we decided, all 4 of us had dowsing rods, so we decided we were doing a 4-person dowsing rod session at the same time. So that experiment was pretty cool because not everybody was getting responses off of their dowsing rods, like 1 would
mm,
cross or 2. So it was a cool experiment, um, to also let people know that they don't sometimes you just don't get responses while other people do.
mm,
Um, but we started using those a lot lately, which is
yeah.
actually really cool because they can answer yes, no, they can point in directions and, all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
that
I've never used dowsing rods myself, but I have seen people use them, and they are fascinating things, really. Because I mean, because well, they're just really bizarre, like how they work, and the fact that I'm pretty sure, like as well. I mean, I suppose one a sort of slight issue with them could be because I'm pretty sure, like I say, if you if don't I'm pretty sure they use them to find like pipes underground and stuff as well, don't they?
Water,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I suppose that could, depending where you are, I suppose that could be
Mhm.
something that could affect them, maybe. But like I said, but they are fascinating things. Like I say, I mean, I've seen people use them a couple of times, and like I say, I mean, I've seen them to the point where someone has hold of them, and they are literally just like
Yep,
helicoptering, just fully just going
yeah.
round and round and round and round, and I'm just stood there like, what the hell is happening?
We were at a location in May, and I did that. I had him out, and I was talking with a spirit, and I had asked about another spirit, and I said, "Okay," and so that spirit stepped forward. And I said, "Okay," and they were starting to spin, and I said, "Okay, I'll let you play," and I held them out, and I said, "Margaret, you spin the left one," and it started spinning, and I
Mm,
go, "Birdie, you spin the right one," and it started spinning, and I'm like, "Spin them in different directions," and they would spin in different directions, and then they would get in sync with each other, and it
mm.
it was a really cool experience. So,
Yeah, and I
yeah,
mean I don't want to say that's like conclusive evidence, because in a way nothing is, but like that's a really hard one to try and for someone to try and explain away, isn't it? Really,
yeah,
when something like that happens,
mhm,
I think
and
I
so
think I
I'm
think that's I think that's why I'm starting to really like them, to be honest, because they're very. Is that they're not an easy. I mean, because as well, like, if someone's spinning them themselves, like you'd be able to tell. I think
mhm,
I'm pretty
mhm,
sure you'd be able to tell.
yep, for
So they
sure.
they they are a good, and like I like the cheap stuff, the stuff that doesn't costs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, dollars, whichever currency you're using, because some of the stuff is quite expensive. Like I said, like your REM pods and your spirit boxes and stuff, they are quite pricey.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
you can get some
And
dowsing rods for change.
yeah,
That's
18
why I
bucks.
like cat balls.
Yes, cat balls are good. We do have those as well. Cat balls are good. But yeah, so, um, it is, and I hold my dowsing rods like this, so I'm not
Mm,
even touching the tops at all,
yeah.
and, and I can tell when they start to spin that they wanna play with them, so I'm like, "Go ahead."
Mm,
I take the time, I'm like, "Go ahead." And they'll spin it for a while, and I go, "Spin it the other way," and they'll spin it back the other way, and then I'm like, "Okay, let's answer some more questions."
yeah.
And then we'll get some more questions answered, but, I really do like using them, and mine, like, I legit can take them out now, and I can start asking questions, and they'll immediately start working. Like, the
Mm,
connection I have with mine is stupid real.
yeah.
Like, I don't even know how it happened, but yeah. Um, my niece was holding him one day, and she was asking a question, it wasn't doing anything, and so I was asking, and they were answering while she was holding him. She's like, "How is that working?" And I'm like, "'Cause they're connected with me. That's how it
Yeah.
works." Like, so
Yeah. So out of because I always like to ask people this as well. So, do you have a favorite piece of equipment apart from maybe the dowsing rods, and do you have a least favorite bit of equipment?
so my favorite that I do like to use the camera and the EVP recorder
Mm,
just because even if you're sitting there and you're not really hearing much or experiencing much, what you pick up on recordings can actually, be that turning point. And then it's a very controversial piece, but I love my dead bell. Like
yeah,
I love it. We get a lot of interaction with the dead bells, um, and sometimes they just go crazy, so you shut them off. But when you can get the compelling answers of once for yes, twice for no, that makes it all the better. Um, Probably my least favorite, and it's just because I never think to take it out to use it, is probably the K2.
yeah,
Everybody's got their K2s out, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I could have taken mine out, but I didn't." Um, but I just I don't think about using it,
yeah.
so therefore it's my least favorite because I don't think about using it ever.
Mm. See, for me personally, I only like like I say, the K2s and the EMF readers. I I don't think they're. I don't like to use them on investigations. I prefer to use them before starting an investigation, just to see if there's any sort of,
Yeah.
if there's any spots where, it's picking up stuff straight away. Because, like I say, I mean, like I say, it could be something, it could not be. But to me, like I say, if you do a walk around of a place first with like you say, with an AMF, and
Uh-huh.
let's say, I said there's I don't know, maybe a cupboard, there's something that's apparently happened in there, but there could also be some really dodgy wiring or something going on in there. So it could
Correct.
be anything. So like I say, I'm not a fan of using them on investigations. I'd rather use them before, like I say, to try and maybe do a little pre-debunking of things before
Mhm,
actually
mhm.
starting. That's what I think the best for personally, anyway.
We did, use 2 K2s, in May when we were at that investigation, and we did actually get responses at the same time. We're
Mm,
like, "Peg it to red if it's yes," and they both would peg, so, um, we have been
mm,
successful on occasion with those, but, most of the time, like I said, I don't think about it, so
yeah.
I'm like,
Mm.
whatever.
So I think you can definitely use them. I think the better for, like I say, if you in a, how can I word this? Not so much a confined place. I don't know how to put it, but I think there would be better for, like you say, like, yeah, yes and no questions sort of thing. I think it'd be good for that. But like I say, personally, I'd rather use them before, just to like sort of debunk anything weird that's
Mhm.
going on beforehand. Um, oh
We
yeah,
did
that's
that
it.
on we did that on our very first investigation. We walked around, K2, thermometer, getting the read of the temperature of the room and stuff like that. After that, we haven't done it. Um, we do try, we do need to get back into doing that because, um, if they have a K2 out and it's spiking, then we'll start moving around to see if we can debunk
Yeah.
what's setting it off. But
Mm.
yeah, it's crazy. They are really good for doing that. It's just like I said, we did it on our first investigation, and then after that, we never did. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, because like you say, wait, once you get to a location, you just want to dive straight into it, don't you?
mhm, mhm, yep.
So over the couple of years you've been doing this, then have you got any? Is there any events, experiences, full blown locations that have like actually scared you?
Garnett, where the doll fell.
Mm.
Yeah, that one made me very hesitant. Um, I was on pins and needles all night. I actually, believe it or not, I actually heard the entity talk to me. He was directly talking to me and I was talking back.
Yeah.
Um, that location, even when we went back at the beginning of June, I'm very hesitant in that place. Other than that, it hasn't actually been too bad. We've been to McPike twice, so when we do get to go back to locations, I'm super excited because I know what happened the first time.
Mm.
So I'm excited to see what'll happen the next time. Um, speaking of for the rest of the team, they're probably the same. They would probably say the Garnett house was the freakiest one.
Yeah.
Um, but Tim has seen some stuff in his time, and his location is a place in Missouri. It was a bed and breakfast. Um, they went there like 4 different times, and what he experienced there was te for any of us, would be terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't ever wanna go to this location because of the experiences he's had, but if I was to go in there, I would probably gone in the first 5 minutes because there's that much stuff that happens in there, and it's just that terrifying.
Yeah.
The things he's encountered in there, when he said he's seen some stuff, he's not lying. I've never, um he shared a lot with me, but he's like, "There's still stuff about that location that you don't know," because he just isn't ready to talk about it.
Mm.
Um, So I really wish he was back on to talk
Same.
about it, because I know he would talk about it some, um, but a couple of things that did happen to him, there was no cell phone service in this building at all, and his phone rang. Believe it or not,
Mm.
his phone rang. He answered it, and it was like, "You called me, what do you want?" And he's like, "I didn't call you." And he goes, "Yeah, you did, you called me." And he's like, I'm sorry, but I didn't." And he said the man on the other end was getting very irate. And he goes, "But I didn't call you." And he goes, "Yes, you did." He goes, "Now what do you want?" And he goes, "Oh," he goes, "I'm really sorry." He goes, "I didn't mean to call you. Can you tell me your name?" And he goes, "Well, my name's John. Lee. Lee, it was Lee. My name's Lee. What's your name?" And he goes, "Tim." And he goes, "Oh." And he goes, "Well, I'm really sorry." So he got off his phone, went to his call log. He had called the number that just called him,
What the
which is
heck?
which isn't even a number that he would even know.
Yeah.
And a lady that was with him walked out, and the nameplate above the room was Lee.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so, um, there he's seen some stuff, experienced stuff, like, that location is his ultimate, most terrifying play. And I mean, he doesn't get scared easy, and when he went, he's not as experienced as he is now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so um, yeah. And we were on another podcast, and he goes, they're like, "Oh, we want to go to that place. We want to go check it out." And he goes, "I would go back one more time." I was
Yeah.
like, "Why? Why? Why?" Like, that would be my nope moment of never wanting to set foot in anything like that ever again. Um, but he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "I would." He goes, "None of you guys are going." I'm like, "Don't worry, don't wanna go." But yeah. So, I don't know, like, how do they manipulate I mean, because we know they can manipulate equipment, but
Mm.
how do they manipulate equipment enough to put a phone number in your call log, call you back from that number, and then talk to you through the phone?
Yeah, especially if you've got no service, that makes even less sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
for real.
that is definitely strange.
Yeah, that should have been his strange thing to leave in your shed.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
definitely,
we'll leave that in the
definitely.
shed. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah,
Mm.
that location is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see why you don't want to go there. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd like to go, but I do think it's important to to revisit locations. Just again, just be like for me personally, because it's just more clarification, and I almost think it's better that if you go to the same location, let's say you go there 5 times, and you have 3 times, and you're getting all sorts of activity, and then you get 2 times where you barely get any. To me,
Mhm,
that's just like the 2 times you get nothing. To me, is more confirmation
mhm,
than the 3 times of getting activity, because then there's no pattern to it. Then it's just
mhm,
because I mean, I'm still fairly new to the investigation side of things, but like I said, a lot of people have told me that, like I said, you will get times where literally nothing will happen, and I have had that. And like they all say, like, yes, it's a bit boring, and it doesn't make for very good YouTube videos. And like say, when you're trying to make content out of it, you don't get much out of that. But for like personal reasons, for me, it's just more confirmation of the fact that there is something weird going on.
mhm. Well, and even though, like, you go somewhere and you don't get anything, investigators or people who are not investigators, they need to see that,
Mm,
because they need to realize that it's not all ghosts and or spirits and activity.
yeah,
Like, there are times where you sit and you absolutely will get nothing. The
yeah,
location that we went to, um, back in 2024, we weren't hardly getting anything the entire night. But upon reviewing evidence, I got my first Class A EVP out of there,
Mm,
but
yeah.
during the night, we were like, "Man, like, this is boring. What do? We change it try to change it up, and this and that and the other and everything." But, I mean, sometimes it's like that. You will sit for hours and have nothing, and
Mm.
people need to see that. So even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
it is boring content, they need to see
Mhm,
it and realize it's not all, like it's said on the ghost shows, they're there for a week
mhm.
and they have 45 minutes worth of content to show you. That's it in a
Exactly.
week's time.
Yeah.
So, they need to realize that it's not all bells and whistles. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of boring.
it's not constantly running around screaming and getting chased by demons and everything and all that.
Correct. Correct. For
It's fu
sure.
it's funny 'cause I seen a TikTok last night and it kind of annoyed me a little bit actually. It was like it was annoyingly, I can't remember the name of the account, but like they had a lot of followers. They had over 100,000 followers, and this video had lots of views, lots of likes, and comments and everything. And basically, the whole point of it was that the guy was trying to say that like paranormal investigating is boring because obviously, it's not always a case of you're getting activity every 2 minutes, like you said,
Mhm.
which is never the case. But like, I was just like, that's going to put people off doing it, and to me, that's a bad thing. And to me, it's not boring. Like even on the times when I've been on investigation and we've had minimal activity, like I said, and it could just because, like I say, I'm still fairly new to it. I've been like say investigating now for I don't know, maybe a year, maybe just over, maybe a bit less. But like I say even at the times when there's not a lot happening, I'm still like on the edge of my seat. I'm still waiting for something to happen, which
Mhm.
is still exciting. Even if like you say, it's because you don't know if something is going to happen. So
Correct.
to me, it's never boring. If anything, it's the opposite.
I do I do get bored occasionally, like if we're in
Mm,
a place and like not a lot is happening. I don't say anything to anybody, but like I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm bored. Like I'm ready to move to a different area
yeah,
because
yeah.
maybe there's gonna be something happening in that next area.
Mm,
Um, but other than that, yeah, um we're like go hard investigators. Like if we start at 5 p.m. and we have it until 9 p.m., we aren't sleeping. We aren't
yeah,
stop I mean, we take breaks or whatever, but, like, we're not gonna go to sleep because 1, we might miss something. We
yeah.
might miss that holy grail or whatever. So but we go until we don't go anymore, or, like, if it's 3:30, 4 in the morning and there is absolutely nothing happening, like, we're not getting any responses on anything,
Hmm.
then we're like, "Okay, you guys are done. You're not gonna talk to us anymore, whatever." Then we'll
Yeah,
be done. Or, I mean, we literally go until we can't go anymore, which might be, 6 in the morning. And then
yeah,
we'll leave and then we'll go sleep for a while. But
mm,
um yeah, we maximize our time.
yeah. Yeah, it's the best way to do it. Definitely is. But I will say because this I call it an incident. But I done a little video on my TikTok and Instagram about this because the last investigation I was on, uh, it was about just over an hour's drive away from my house. So, like I said, there was no reason for hotels or anything. I was like, I can drive home in an hour or so. It's fine.
Mhm.
Especially late at night, roads are clear. I can put my foot down a little bit more. I wasn't a speeding officer, I swear. Yeah,
Right.
but I knew, like I think it was like midnight. I was starting to feel tired and I was yawning like crazy. And then, but I didn't leave. It was about 1 o'clock by the time I left, I think. And I should have gone an hour earlier because the last 20 minutes of that drive home was not safe. I had windows down, aircon on, fans blasting my face, music turned all the way up, just to keep myself awake. So I was just like, yes, I want to find ghosts, but I don't want to be a ghost yet.
Right? Yeah, for real. Usually if we end up having uh, if we end up doing uh, if we get a hotel, it's usually within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually within, like, a half an hour drive. He said his phone is trying to upload the podcast.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, just just try to leave it up, and then like I say, it should do it eventually. So yeah, I mean, like I
Oh,
say, it's been a good 25 minutes since we lost him, so we'll just assume that he's not coming back. Unfortunately, we might have to get him on again another time.
yeah, that's funny. Huh. Oh my gosh.
Like I say, technology, it's brilliant.
When it works, for real.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow.
So, have you got any investigations planned upcoming?
We do. July 18th, we're going back to Old Mercy Hospital. That's here in Iowa. Um, it's an old hospital
Mm,
that was actually used as a halfway house as well. Um, so there's been a lot of different bodies go through there.
yeah.
Um, there are patient remnants that, well, not patient remnants, I shouldn't say that. People that lived there when it was a halfway house, their stuff is still there,
All
um,
right.
around the thing. But it was
Mm,
interesting when we went there the first time. We got a female hello. Like
mm,
two of the four of us heard it. It was audible. They were like, hello. And we're like, hello? Like, and none of our recorders picked it up.
that's weird. Yeah,
And
that's
the
definitely
two,
strange.
Kathy and I, it went Misty, me, Kathy, and Tanya. And it came from over on the other side of Tanya, but Kathy and I were the only two that heard it. The other two didn't hear her say hello.
That makes
It was
even less sense.
it was really weird. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
weird, but it was hello. And we do use apps as well on our phone.
Mm,
Um, I know a lot of people don't like to use apps, but with that being said, we normally get things that do coincide with the location that we're at.
mm,
So it makes it a little bit more believable for us. That
yeah.
was that was the first time I'd ever been told by a spirit to F off in capital letter, all capital letters, mind you, all capital letters. That was the first time. I've been told that like 5 times since at different locations.
Yeah.
F off or F you, one of the two. We've gotten even ghost roller eyes. I'm bored of haunting you. I'm not haunting, I'm ghosting. So I mean those little one-off things that
Yeah.
you don't get makes it funny. But it makes it kind of more believable because it's not words that come across all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so it's crazy. We have gotten the same words at several locations, which I also find interesting. One is Desdemona, and it means like ill fate.
Mm,
But the locations we get those at are like Indiana State, where it was a tuberculosis hospital,
nice.
or places. There was a brothel that we also picked it up from. Um, so I mean, there are places when we get that word, it's places where there was ill fate, whether it's, dying or, like the prostitution or things like that. So
Mm,
I think that that makes it interesting that it's not at every location either.
yeah.
So even though we do use those, um, we pick and choose the words that we keep. Like there
Yeah.
are like, "Am I dead?" Well, yeah, you're dead. But
Mm,
you can almost get that at every location. And if it's haunted, yes, they are dead. That's
yeah.
why they're there. But so we do kind of pick and choose. And we each will run the same app and we'll ask questions, but we'll each get different answers. So it's we've confirmed this at one location. We actually had 3 different conversations going on. So,
Mm,
like, I had one talking to me, somebody had somebody else talking to them. So, even though we were running 3 apps at the same time, we weren't getting the same responses,
yeah.
which, those are cool little experiments as well,
Mm,
to do, and so, like, somebody was like, "Hey, can you play music?" So then I start playing. I can't play the piano worth nothing, and I'm like, "I can't play, but here you go." On an out of tune piano, and on another Spirit Talker, they were like, "That is awful." Like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
it's just interesting. So, even if you don't use the apps, or if you're thinking about it, like, pick and choose. Like, the more you use it, the more you know what words actually come through, and then, decipher the words or take into consideration a little bit more the words you don't always get. And
Yeah.
then you can figure out that, okay, maybe we are talking to somebody
Mm,
versus it just being something on an app. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Because I'm unsure on them just because I just because I sort of know how obviously how apps work and stuff, and I think it could be. I mean, I want to say very easy. I don't want to say very easy, just to like dismiss it, but I think it could definitely be done to the point where, like you say, it's on your phone. Your phone's got a microphone on. You're asking it questions. It's going to hear what you're saying. Is it programmed to pick up on things that you're saying and shoot out the answers that you probably
mhm,
wanted to say? Whereas, obviously, and then could it be programmed to throw in a couple of bits that make no sense at times? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I've used them before. I say that they're not a go-to, but I'm not going to condemn anybody who wants to use them, because in a way they could be a good little bit of starter kit for somebody. If someone's starting out, I mean, because like I said, I mean, they're not compared to I mean, a spirit box can be anything. I mean, they're usually
yeah,
like £100, $100 or something. I mean, you can download the apps for free, or for about £5, $5. I don't know. So I mean, like I said, to start off with, they can be a good little thing to play with, I suppose. But I'd say I don't put too much trust into them, just because I definitely believe it could be manipulated.
it could.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use
No.
Spirit Talker the most. That's the app
Mm,
that we use the most.
yeah.
Um, and like I said, like, uh, there was one location we were at. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. But there was one location that we were at, and Tim was doing an Estes, and he said, "Get out." And then on Spirit Talker, we were told to get out. So, sometimes you get those little,
Yeah. Yeah.
things. Um, but that location, it's Malvern Manor, and it's in the southwest corner of Iowa. And that would probably be Misty's scary location. Her and Tim and Tanya were up on the 2nd floor in what they call the Bloody Cricket Hallway. It goes at an angle, and there is human blood on the wall that they've never cleaned. It's been
What?
tested. I don't know. They don't know if it was from, so originally it was a hotel, then it was a nursing home, then it was, like a halfway house, squatters were in there. So they don't know how this blood came about, but when you look, somebody was bleeding and they were along the wall and they smeared it as they were trying to walk down the hallway. It's been tested, it's real. I'm like, "Why don't you clean it?" And he goes, "Why for?" I don't know.
Oh.
But anyway, crooked, bloody, crooked, blooded hallway. And they're sitting down there and he goes, "We're not doing any cameras. We're focusing solely on, our eyes, what we can see in the dark, this and that and the other." And Misty, who is a channeler slash medium, saw this thing that she described as, um, the little creepy dude off of, Ring of Fire, The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, like Gollum.
Gollum, yes, this Gollum-looking creature army crawled down the hallway towards them.
Oh, fuck that! Now I'd have been out the
Because
door.
she's seen this, that's what she was seeing, And yeah, she was freaking out just a smidge. So yeah, that one's her place. Yeah, it's crazy. So, not that we haven't experienced crazy things at locations, because we have,
Mm.
but, yeah, it's yeah, a golem, that's what she called refers to a golem-looking creature army crawling down the hallway towards them.
Yeah, I'd be gone and I wouldn't be going back, I don't think.
Where they were at was at the end of the hallway. So to run, you would have had to have run past it
Oh,
to
fuck no.
escape. To escape.
I'd have just turned around and just started crying then probably.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, right, you win.
yeah. So, yeah, some crazy, yeah. What other crazy things have we seen, experienced? I mean, those are right out there at the worst. We were doing an Estes session from the same place, and as I'm doing Estes, I hear a growl in this ear,
Mm,
right? So I growl. I'm like, growl, because that's what I heard.
yeah.
Well, playback of my video, you hear they all in the group hear a growl at the same time I heard the growl. You don't hear me growl, but you actually hear the growl, and it was in between me and Misty. So the growl that I did is non-existent on the video, but you hear the actual growl that they heard because they all respond to it.
Yeah,
It, it
that's odd.
I yeah, because when I'm being recorded, my voice is very distinct. Like, I
Mm,
have a low voice and my voice is very distinct. And that growl overpowered me.
yeah.
So when I growled, it growled at the same time and totally took away my voice.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
I go,
very, very strange.
he said to leave it open and it's okay. And he goes, no, it's not. I need to figure out how I'm going to run the Riverside from my laptop when you switch over from StreamYard.
Oh god. Right then,
Oh,
Brenda. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it anyway. So, thank you to you and to Tim for coming on. I mean, obviously, didn't get to speak to him for very long, but Tim, if you're listening back to this, it was nice talking to you. Hopefully I'll get to speak to you again at some point. So, just before we leave, Brenda, do you want to let my listeners know where they can find you and all that good stuff?
we are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It is Paranormal Girls and Tim on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I believe it's Paranormal Girls 2024. YouTube at -1 2024-1. And then TikTok is Paranormal Girls and Tim. But if you search Paranormal Girls and Tim, you're gonna find us on each one.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll put all the links in the description, so if people want to find you, they can do it that way anyway. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, like I said, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've really enjoyed this. Right then, guys. So we shall leave it there for this one. So as always, go and follow the Instagram page at the Spooky Shed Podcast. Link in the bio there for all the other socials that I am slowly starting to use a bit more. So go and follow them as well. Merch stores there, YouTube channels there, and we shall speak to you next time.
Thank you for having us on.
No problem.
The Spooky Shed podcast is a Pod Shed production.